everyone, I am Michael Abney. I want to welcome you to the Energy Sherpa today. I am so excited that you're here. Today I'm going to be sharing a story about how this one self-help book came the first in a series of dominoes that literally changed everything in my life. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri today. It's where I live most of the time. It is so gorgeous, so beautiful. I hope some of the energy of that comes through today, because we're going to be talking about a book that fell off a shelf 30 years ago, hit me in the head like the universe really trying to tell me something. It changed everything. I can't wait to share it with you. We'll talk about it on the other side. Some 30 years ago, got my first place. The very first business I ever did was in hair. Always an entrepreneur, even at the beginning. Always excited about the next space. Had amazing roommates, but God, I was really excited to have my own place. Got my townhouse, moving in. Some friends found out about it, gave me some books. I did have a built-in bookshelf, so that was cool. You know, when you first move in, you don't have a whole lot, so it didn't take that long. I put all these books up and kind of getting ready for bed. First night, I'm really excited, and this book falls off the shelf, hits me straight in the head like a sign from the universe. It was called How You Can Heal Your Life. I picked it up, I started reading it, and her name was Louise Hay, and she was talking about how our energy was thoughts was energy affected our health, what we were thinking affected, like when we got sick, there was an emotional cause to it. I'd never heard anybody say anything like that before in my entire life, but I knew inside of me that it was really true. I resonated with it, and I kept reading, and the next thing you know, it was literally the next morning. I read the whole thing cover to cover, just was like found heaven that night, and I never knew that there were other people that thought those things. Now, I didn't never think that, but I knew that there was something going on that I never really I knew other people weren't talking about, or just I had a sense. I always saw energy around things, and I didn't have other friends that were saying that too, so I kept it all inside. Like, yeah, we got to start talking about this because it will provide such benefit to the world. That's actually why I'm sharing it, because people have a connotation about what self-help books are. Oh, you need to go read that because there's something wrong with you and you need to help yourself. Well, yeah, we all need to be doing that. We're going to look at the result of the world that we're living in. Human beings have a few things that are missing that if they did have the presence of, we would not be living in this world the way it is right now. We would be creating some version of a world that works for everybody. I know that's where we're going. That's why this channel is here, is to provide that information or an opening or be a part of it or just be in action with something besides the status quo. And that's the reason that I'm here. That's the reason that I'm sharing this story, because that book, How You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, changed everything. And it was a domino that led me to so many other things that I'm going to be sharing in this playlist called Stories of Falling Awake. But it's really about healing, connecting with what I already knew here with my own life. This is not the book. I'll flash a cover of that book over there. That one had a heart on it, the one that I had. It was one of the original ones. I mean, this is 30 years ago, right? Because as soon as I connected with this, I was like, what else does she have? Back then we didn't have Google, so we actually had to go to a bookstore and look it up and see like what else she had done with the HIV community in San Francisco. At the time, you know, being a gay man, coming out, that's when HIV popped out and there was huge fear everywhere. I've got a story where I shared in the video that I'm talking with Cara Mendez about how to evolve past an argument. I share a little bit about my story then and the fear and how that impacted my life. So if you want to check that out, I'll link that in the description box below. But how she was impacting my community at the time was she was offering hope where hope was not being offered. What was being offered was, you get this and you're going to die. Feeling of everyone else in life and around you of like, yeah, you deserve it because you're gay. Like, that was what the feeling was back then. The gay community, we came out of it for sure. That was just a lot of fucking shit to go through at that time. She had, I want to say the balls. She had the balls to start community meetings and start talking about this back then, like, and providing that. So like, she is my princess warrior hero. I know she's passed on into non-physical energy, but I feel her all the time, and she's on YouTube, and I know she's making a difference. And I know people are going to watch this and never heard of her and read that book, and it's going to make a difference. It's like she did in my life. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. Read it. It's all in there. It was a really great foundation. In the back of it was this list of like illnesses that we all collectively have, and what the probable root energy thought pattern was that attracted it and created it, and then how you could alter that with the new affirmation. It's basically repeating something, so that the repeating thing in our head that's not so nice, that has something to be replaced by. And that's what she was talking about. And affirmations do work, but you just gotta do them. Can't break free from the already automatic conversation that's going on in their head, telling them that they're not good enough and believing that. This was one of those markers that helped me stop to doing that, because I started playing around with it. And once you see the connections, game over. Let's just talk about like the knees. I always thought the knees was kind of funny, because I ran track when I was a kid. I always had problems with my knees. So knees represent pride and ego, and then that's the probable cause. And the new thought pattern is I'm flexible and flowing. And also knees are moving forward. Like that's what moves you forward in life. And I did not have a clear future vision of what my life was going to look like, other than I knew it was probably going to have a lot more of what I was experiencing in high school and not fitting in and all that crap, that I was going to be experiencing more of that as I move forward in life. But I digress. Back to knees. I just love how like our body is all connected, and there is a pattern to it, and it's not random once you start to see what's beyond it. So, oh my God, I've had this in my life. Problems with digestion. Like, who hasn't had that, right? Yes, food affects it, but I'm talking about, this is the root. This is like what's underneath everything. So a gut level fear, dread, anxiety, gripping, and grunting. That's indigestion. The new thought pattern is I digest and assimilate all new experiences peacefully and joyously. So I'm going to break that down. So think about gut level fear. So when the HIV thing happens and people are dying and that whole energy is going on all around the planet, and you happen to be gay, yeah, that's gut level fear and dread. Yeah, you walk around with that, and you walk around with that feeling, and our thoughts affect water. Our thoughts affect everything. They're affecting our body. They're affecting our cells. So yeah, manifested quite a lot of heartburn in my life, and I'm over that now, thank God. And yeah, but that's just a lot of pain that you walk around with, because that was the truth. Like, I didn't know how to let go of that gut level fear that I had from a lot of things. It's like being in life where you think that you don't fit in or a part of it. Not that fitting in is everything, because it's actually not. I love standing out now. It's just, there's no education to teach people that you're okay just exactly who you are. We are like brought up to fit in, and like that whole, yeah, that's all bullshit. So yeah, stop believing that. You are who you are. You're here for a reason. You're here for a purpose, and like let the other stuff just go. If you have problems, reach out to me or anybody that can in the energy world that helps people let go of stuff, because you don't need to carry that stuff around. It just makes you sick. Yeah, it's time to heal. It's time to heal. And when you get to the root of something, it does heal. When you pull the root out, standing in this beautiful field right now, but there are some dandelions. They're perfectly just fine. Actually, you can see them right behind me. But like when you pull out the root of a weed, it can't grow back. If you pull up, just take the surface stuff off and the root's still there, it's going to grow back. And that's why you have to get to the real root of what the problem is that you are running away from or not facing, or as soon as you face it, it disappears. But no one ever taught me that. I learned that later on in life. But God, if you learn it young, whew, you're just unstoppable. And that's the way you're designed to be in life. So infection, knees. Let's do one more. Oh my God, how many people have allergies? So here's the thing for allergies. Emotional congestion, fear of the calendar, a belief in persecution and guilt. That's a lot. Let's break that down. Emotional, it's energy in motion. Congestion means stuck. And fear of the calendar, like a deadline, where you just feel like pressure and you're not, like, When you're like that, you're not present because you're too busy trying to get something done. So you're always operating just a little outside of center. And when you're doing that, your energy is not in alignment, and it will cause, you're not empowered. And when you're not, your energy is not going through you, and it'll cause illness like allergies. When somebody tells me they have allergies, I'm always like, who are you allergic to? What's around you that you're not like being fully yourself with? And it could be a person, it could be your job, it could be anything. But it's where you're trying to go too quickly and rush and not be in that moment, and that's where you lose everything. Okay, so the new thought pattern for hay fever is, I am one with all of life. I am safe at all times. Two things that pop up for me when I read that now. I am one with all of life. Yes, I know that. Finding that balance so that we're healthy, alive, whole. Actually, it's those 7 words that change everything. I also got a video about that. At the end of the day, we are all whole, perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Like, that's who we are. And anywhere in our life that we're not aware of that, or that's not present, there's an imbalance, and then imbalances causes the things in life that we don't like that much. So I am safe at all times, just meaning that no matter what happens, that you know that you're connected to who you are, and that all is well, and that you live under the context of everything in life is happening through me, and it's happening at the perfect time, at the perfect space and perfect place. Like, everything is perfect. When you think something's wrong, you have to stop and just realize that your ego, your head saw a problem, it's trying to fix it, and it created something wrong, and you're so powerful you can create worlds. So when you focus on something, it expands, and when it expands, that's awesome, except for when you focused on something that's wrong, especially with yourself, then that expands. And if you forget and don't go back to center, you'll automatically go outside of yourself trying to fix it with this or that, or a doctor or whoever, or medicate it yourself, which a lot of folks know how to do. So if you want to stop doing that, you got to connect back to who you really authentically are. And sometimes that is in a self-help book. Sometimes that is in a seminar. Sometimes that is in a documentary. And sometimes that's just waking up. Sometimes it is. So whatever it is for you, know that that's the pattern. That's where we're going. And wherever you are along in that journey, it's absolutely perfect. Like, nothing's wrong at all. Period. Full stop. Louise went on to create Hay House. She created a whole platform there, a really powerful platform. And that platform was doing an event in Toronto, Canada, and it was, her name was Cheryl Richardson. So I went in for that, and then I remember sitting there, I was with some friends, and I turn around and in walks Louise Hay. And to me, you know, she held Oprah status, and she was one of the very first of those. And she came in and sat down next to me, and I got to fangirl out. I was respectful, and I just said, you know, thank you so much, because that book, it changed everything. So much so that even 10 years after that, I'm starting a YouTube channel. One of the first things I think about is how I want to share what that book did for my life with my YouTube followers that are here and are coming. I know it. So you can be watching this in the future, but like, this is one of the first videos that I ever filmed. So yeah, excuse the craziness of it, but you always see your first ones are your worst ones. Doing it anyway. Just wanted to share. It's coming from the heart. I hope that this made a huge impact in your life. Made you stop and think about it. Never heard of it before, or if you have, it's like maybe you want to go back and reread that. I highly recommend that. I think that would be great. I do it all the time with books that I loved, that I read maybe 10, 15 years ago, and I would go back. I'm rereading The New Earth right now. I know I'm going to be doing some content on that because that's what we're living in right now. So I see that from a completely new perspective. So hopefully you guys will see this from a new perspective, or your very first perspective. But whatever it is, I wish you well, and all is well. Thank you for stopping by. This is a new channel, as I said before. You might be watching it's not a new channel anymore, but please, if you found value in today, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you found value in this, because that's what I provide all of the time. And if you want to know about it when it comes out, hit the little bell button and it will notify you. So that's all the housekeeping that I have for today. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'll include the information from the video and links below, but here it is. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. So love you guys. Thanks for stopping by and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye. That's me, the Energy Sherpa.